Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jax Crawford, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the North Carolina U.S. Senate race this year. It's been an interesting year and a pretty close race between Tom Tillis, who represents the Republican Party, and Cal Cunningham, who represents the Democratic Party. This is an important race in North Carolina because they have tended to be Republican the past 5 years, and it would be a big change if the Democrats were to be voted in, especially because the Republicans are kind of on a fine line right now as far as representation goes in the U.S. Senate. So if the Democrats are elected, most likely other states are going to follow suit, and we are going to see a shift in the U.S. Senate going over towards the Democrats instead of the Republicans, which is something that is obviously feared by the Republican Party. And also within this race, we have seen that Cal Cunningham was involved in a scandal, and that Tom Tillis was reported as testing positive for COVID-19, and that was on October 2nd, which also threw a little bit of a mix-up into this race. As far as the polls go, I did not see anything go over 10 points, which was interesting. So it was very tight amongst all the polls. But on average, I was seeing that Cunningham consistently was leading throughout all of them. And while we did see two dates that were decided as even, these would make sense because it was on the 2nd and the 20th of October, which is right around the time that Tom Tillis and Cunningham were involved with COVID and the scandal. So this would be a time where people are kind of shifty, and that would make sense to me why it would be tied between the two. As far as the most recent one that I looked at was on the 26th, actually, and I saw that Tillis was favored. Now this was rated as a C poll, and I could see it as not being fully correct, as the others that are compared to it all go back to Cunningham. But it's good to see that there's a little bit of variation in at least one or two of the polls. Now, as far as my prediction goes for this election, I believe that Cunningham is not going to win, even though all the polls say that. And I believe this because North Carolina has consistently been Republican over the past few years, and I don't see that changing this year, as it would have a big butterfly effect. Obviously, they can't fully control that, except for just encouraging Republicans to vote. But I think that they are going to get the win over Cal Cunningham. Thank you.